So, well, good. So Jennifer's in, everybody's finding their way here. Let's see, we got Trudy, Sue, Jennifer, Pam, and myself. Okay, sweet. Well, this just goes to show what the energy's like. You got to go with the flow, and something doesn't want to cooperate, you just kind of see what else shows up. So let's all put our hands on our heart and let's breathe. And let's just soul connect. Let's all put our soul energy into the center, and then let's connect, all of us that are present physically here. Nice. And now let's connect with all that can't make it, that are part of the group. Ooh, that was nice. And we ask that this time together, this now time together, be used for our highest and best, and to support us in this time of I won't give you another word. Okay, thank you in advance for all of our support. And so we go. So good to see everybody. This is so fun. Thanks for coming on. I've spoken before about we are now navigating our reality as to, wow, that's different, right? Wow, that's different. Wow, that's different. Well, it was different that you guys were all on something and I was on another. That's different. And also it was different that I actually could lay out 3 dates for August, so we just want to notice. We're not going to assign any meaning to it, but we're just going to notice. So let's all just kind of breathe here. And also, like I was sharing with Sue, it actually wanted to be highlighted in yellow. So that's new. That's different. And the other thing that was different to me is it wanted to be 6 o'clock, next week is 7 o'clock, and then the following week is 6 o'clock. So the fact it wanted to change its time so we can ride a 7 versus a 6. Yeah. So, that's different, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just kind of breathe into all this different. Because things, in noticing different, things around us really are sharing with us that change ahead. You know what I mean? Like, it really is speaking to us and saying, notice that this is new, this is new, this is new, this is new. And like Mara and I always look at, oh, wow, this is different. I never have done this before. Wow. And we don't try to assign meaning to it necessarily. We just notice it's different. And that, I feel, leaves you more open and more present to what the difference is. Because I go back to, our human finds safety in sameness, right? It's always scanning your external for what's the same. And soul is just looking for different. It's just having experiences. So that can support you. And how it supports me is it gets me out of trying to do any kind of like anticipation or assigning meaning to something, so that I can be this open vessel to what is now. So let's just all kind of breathe. So with that, I feel like everybody's going to have a chance to speak here, because I'm anxious to and excited to hear from everybody's soul energy and what they've been noticing, just what they've been noticing. So whatever's there. So I'm going to start with Pamela, and that's different.
Yeah,
I called you Pamela.
Yeah.
So again, wow, that just rolled out of my mouth, right?
Right.
And so there's different. So go
Right.
ahead, the floor is yours.
Um, I'm sure, like everybody else, everything is a little all over the board, and yet there is such a relief right now, isn't there?
Hmm.
I feel so relieved and not responsible, and I don't care. I found that a t-shirt that said "Fun fact, I don't care." And I feels like my job feels different because, of course, I'm not surprisingly, everybody there is a little in an uproar. And sometimes I feel like my only purpose there is to say, "Good morning, how are you today?" And if that's all I accomplish in the day, then it's perfect. And I'm
Nice.
okay with a lot more stuff like that than I used to be, you know? And there's something, yeah, very elated about this time. And I was just like a little kid waiting to see all your faces today. I was just excited to see everybody and connect like with my people, I feel like. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not to say that this hasn't, yeah, been a roller coaster, and anger more than tears, and those kinds of things, and write them
So
out.
can you say a little bit more about the anger? How is anger showing up for you?
Oh, the craziest little things. Like, I got back from vacation, and normally when I would leave, I usually leave the last 2 weeks of July, the custodians would clean my office. And before I left, I asked them not to touch my office, because then when I got back, things would be different, and I didn't want that. I arrived back at work, and they cleaned my office. I kind of went freak on them. I'm just like, "Did you not get the memo, people?" I said, "Do not touch my office." And it sounds funny when you're angry that someone cleaned your office, but I knew I didn't want them in there, and I don't know if it was there, and I don't know. I just didn't. And instead
What?
of normally going, "Oh, well, that was nice, that's okay," I went, "What? You people
Hmm.
didn't get this memo?" And so
Hmm.
I even like mentioned it to their supervisor. I'm like, "I told you, I told them. What are people doing in my office? Get out."
Right. Well, and part of it, I also see it was an energetic thing, Pam,
Mm-hmm.
that you didn't want your energy disturbed in there.
Right. Right. And but I mean, so I could, that doesn't seem like anything you blow up about, but it blew up. And I was okay with it.
Yeah, because it was essential for them not to touch it, not to
Right.
be in there. And see,
Yeah.
that's part of this soul anger, the soul emotions,
Mm-hmm.
because you're just going to have them.
Yeah.
Because there's this knowing inside of you. And it's like, don't touch my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it knows what it wants to do. I've listened to it. You are not honoring it.
Mm-hmm.
And does that fit? Does that fit
Yeah, it
for you?
does. And I kind of came on court, but and once that happened, I just moved on. It was like, don't care how they felt about it, and don't care what happens next time. Maybe next time I have a request, they'll honor that, and they might not. And I did what I could do, and now I'm moving on.
Yeah. And next time you might put a freaking sign on the door, say "Stay out."
Yeah, tape it, lock
I
it.
whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, So I feel like that's a perfect example to this soul clear. This soul
Mm-hmm.
clarity, and it's like you you think you think you get to do whatever you want here. You are
Mm-hmm.
mistaken. And
Right.
then the action you took to even talk to the supervisor, holding them accountable,
Mm-hmm.
that it's just respect.
Yeah.
Part of this just
It
boils
was.
down to respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
And your vacation, did you go to Idaho?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
and nothing like a mountaintop in a hot tub in the stars, and it was magical as always. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Well,
just to leave all these other whatever's going on and all that. I mean, it wasn't there. I mean, on the top of a mountain for a week.
right.
I mean, just wasn't there. No TV, no phone, no nothing. Wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
So that,
really got to just be with you.
yeah, yeah. And then
And
we got to bring little kids this time that aren't my little kids, but some friends. And it was a 9-month-old and a 3-year-old. And so I got to
wow.
see the mountain through their eyes.
Wow.
And
Let's
that
all
was,
breathe into that.
oh, that
I
was
felt that.
lovely. That was lovely. Yeah. Because they were pretty
Yeah.
amazing little kids to be up there doing this. Yeah. And the little 9-month-old was just crawling and she was filthy every day. And she just loved every minute of the dirt and the grass and the dogs. And yeah, it was pretty fun. I guess, yeah, you could tell I could go on and on about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can't everybody like almost put yourself there? Can't you feel that energy that
Yeah.
she's sharing? And I feel like that's part of this new quantum experience is like you're sharing but I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Different. It's different from before. It's like I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can so like experience it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's I don't know, there's something different for me in that. So well, thank you and welcome,
Yeah.
and we're glad to connect
Thanks
with
for
you,
having this.
see your smiling face again.
Yeah.
So Trudy, why don't you come on next?
Well, this last couple of weeks has been really, really interesting from an energetic standpoint. I mean, I've sort of feel like I've experienced all kinds of things, you know, like from super, super dense to super light and really, you know, in download mode and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So it feels to me like running the gamut, actually. And also a whole new level of letting go. And you know, to the point of my body really talking to me. I mean, I missed my niece's wedding because my body purged. You know, all of a sudden, you know, the hour that I was supposed to be getting dressed to, you know, get ready to leave, I just couldn't go. So, I mean, I felt disappointed about that because, you know, it's a big day, but I stayed home. So there's lots of things like that, but also just really accessing all kinds of really new, different stuff. And one thing I did want to share was in doing the latest version of the soul yoga. You know, where there's that chunk of time where Mara is pressing down on her knees. Sometimes it feels like the actual minute that it is. And then there's other times where it seems like it just goes on forever. It's kind of like, are we ever coming back up?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, you know, just that whole new whatever with time. So,
Yeah. And
and
almost like time taking the time it needs
exactly.
for you, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So that's kind of it in a nutshell for me.
Wow. And it just feels like you're glowing, Trudy.
Thanks.
Yeah. Like you have all the light behind you, but it's like I'm experiencing you like almost glowing all around you. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it does feel different. And I have to
Hmm.
say that it's taking me, I have to purposefully allow for the integration, you know, because that human part of me always, you know, feels like I should go through my list of things. But I really have to just stop and allow for the integration and the acclimation.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. And so there's one word, no pressure, you're bringing in now. Just kind of tune in. There's a word to place here in the circle, I'm hearing.
Adventure.
Okay. Okay. Let's all breathe into that adventure word. Mm-hmm. Nice. Thanks. Welcome
Yeah,
and thanks for sharing.
thanks.
Yeah. All right. Sue, why don't you come on next?
Yeah, I guess I'm feeling like there hasn't been, a whole lot in terms of different changes going on for me.
Except for
Um,
your backyard and
oh, and the
um that's I would disagree, but I
I,
am me and you are you.
I did clear out my whole backyard, which was a really kind of a physical job. Yeah,
And it really is different.
it is different. You're right. I did forget about that. That's been in kind of in the works though, like over time, and it finally got completed. And my son came and took all the debris, which was a lot, away. So yeah, that that feels so different. That piece does feel different because I can see through the trees now, which was blocked before. So it's
So let's breathe into
a
that
metaphor
because
a little bit.
yeah, it's really
Yeah,
a metaphor. So let's breathe
yeah,
into that.
yeah.
So we can see through the trees now
Mhm,
where it was blocked before.
mhm,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. So
yeah,
keep going.
yeah. So open that up. Yeah. So that allows for whatever that might yet become. I don't know what that will be, but for now, it's just a space that's opened up. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess the other day, I was being with like the letting go piece that Mara's been, talking about with the various um, present, whatever you want to call those little, things that she does. So, and I have been on Facebook, I guess I would have to say more than usual, just keeping up with just, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on out there. And I had a couple people, well, just recently now, another woman that responded to something I put out there, and she just made a comment like, I wouldn't have expected that from you. Um, and something about we're a lot different than I had thought. I thought we were more the same, blah, blah, blah. And she made a comment about something, and I had to come back and just, share my opinion because it was different from hers. I didn't judge her, which I felt like she did in some respects. I just basically said, this is, how I see it. And at any rate, I feel like we're done. It's, there's closure to that because I feel like she doesn't want to entertain anything further. That's fine. I mean, it really comes to where, and I think I said this too with another group of people that I'm currently with, Bunko Group. Um, we get together and we sit 6 feet apart. I mean, that's so not me. That I just can't do that. That's not in my realm of being. And I feel like that group will continue to do that. That I don't know. We're meeting this next week. I will join them. We'll see what happens. But it just feels like when I come together with this group, it's solid. It just, we come together on a whole different level. And I see that appearing maybe more and more. It feels like a real divide that's coming through all of what we see around us. It's either black or white. Um, Not a lot of middle. That's just what I'm seeing based on.
Because there really is only D side.
Mm,
So if you aren't in the D side, you're in the other.
mhm,
You're in the dark. Don't always remember knowing. But there's
sure.
only one side, and that's the D side. D, number 4, right?
Yeah.
Unity, unify, unite. That is the D side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it could be that these people, I just hold a space as to it may not always stay like that. There could be, opportunity for adjustments. However, I'm not going to say never, because that I just don't hold that,
Mhm.
but I have to let go for the time being for what is, because it's best for, moving forward. Obviously,
Where you are at, or where you are headed, where you are going, I
Mhm.
cannot follow.
Right.
So basically we're saying that.
Mhm.
We're not saying you're wrong. We're not saying anything. We're just saying this is not my to be.
Right.
I must go where I know.
Mhm.
And
Exactly.
that's what I really hear you
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
And it is getting easier just to let people go, is it not?
It is. It is. And I am such a truth seeker. And so for me, it's so hard for me just to see things face value. I have to dig deeper. And so, it, what I see on the outside, people don't question. They just do whatever they're told. And it's like, but there's things that don't add up. They don't make sense. They're inconsistent. How can you not look further and see something more? And so that's where I'm at, basically. But again, it isn't in judgment, it's just in questioning what's
Right.
going on, what is going on here. And I know we're going to make our way through all of this. It's going to be fine, but it's getting through it, because we're living it too. And we can't just sit back and say, oh, everything's fine, because we're a part of the solution. We have
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
we've got
And we all have to stand for truth.
We do. We have to speak our truth. We can't not.
Hmm. And
So
you can't care how someone else responds to it.
exactly, you really can't.
Hmm.
And by not saying anything, you're giving power to, something that, you don't want to give power to. So you do have to speak your truth. And
Hmm.
for me, that voice thing has always been like, oh, gee, kind of thing.
So
But
you've really been asserting your power and using your throat chakra.
I
Good for
guess,
you, Sue. Good for you.
yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that's about
Awesome. Well, thank you again for blessing us and joining us,
it.
and gracing us with your beautiful energy. And yeah, it is, I mean, the way, soul certainty and the way I experience you now is just lovely. So congratulations to all your, I know, hard work you put in and time on, letting go.
Mhm.
And it really does show. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear from Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi. Long time no see.
I know. Let's see. So when I look back at the last few weeks, including last week when I was in Washington, D.C. for work, I remembering there's been a lot of flow. Things just flowing and feeling smooth. Now there's been moments where my emotions have come up quicker and faster and stronger, but then I'm able to release them also quicker and quicker. So that feels really good. I think I've been, part of it is I've been immersing in some sound healing things, and I'm noticing I'm implementing that to support me grounding, which is great for that, and also in expressing. So
And I can really hear it in your voice tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's
Great.
solid. I mean, I just want to comment on that because, just happens for somebody else. But to have somebody reflect that back, can't we all experience Jennifer's soul power here?
Mhm.
Yeah. So nice.
Thank you for that feedback.
Hmm.
I also want to say, so I've been practicing with the closing the circles from people from past lives, since you pointed that out to me the other day. And so I can see where that's been supporting me, and I can feel where there's a person at work like, yep, that's closed. That feels different. However, my contractor, it's still not clicking. So
well, we'll tune in and maybe look at that and see if we can support you further with that.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
there's probably something else that sometimes if it doesn't click, there's maybe something else we have to consciously recognize or acknowledge, and then we have more of an aha, and then it can go.
Okay.
So we'll kind of put the pause on that, but have that in our awareness, see how that comes back around. But yeah, so why don't you share? I feel like everybody would be fascinated, interested to hear about your experience in DC.
Let's see. I don't remember what I shared the other day, but so I was there for a week for work last week, and a big part of it was my travel companion, my coworker, who there was a huge contrast between she and I, because I was just feeling a flow, and it was easy because the streets were empty. There was nobody there. The city was pretty much shut down.
Whoa, look at that. We're talking about Washington, D.C. shut down, and then look at the universe.
But my coworker, she was in so much fear. It was hard to see that, but yeah, and she's still in fear from the trip. She's still wearing a mask at home because she has kids, and I'm just not of that mindset or heart set.
Mm-hmm.
But it was easy because there's nobody there, and the installation was quick. We had to order it in, and we got home a day early. It was great, and I was able to listen to sound healing seminars every evening. So
look at how the universe takes care of us. Jennifer's going back to DC. The last time it wasn't so nice. Let's just clear the streets for her.
Yeah. So
yeah. And I mean, so was it Monday we connected?
Yes.
What is it today?
It was Monday.
Oh my gosh, whatever. But Jennifer, it was just interesting because I feel like we want to give this background because this just is another example of knowing, right? So when we had our in-garage experience, for all those of you that were there, Jennifer had texted me, and like you're tuning into the experience. I never told you this part.
Oh.
So you go, can I get another Ion 5 about mineral drops? And I'm like, sure. And so I put in an envelope, I addressed it and all the stuff. And then eventually I actually ran a shipping label for it, but I could not mail it. And it was just the strangest thing. And I'm like, okay, 1 week goes by, and then I'm like, well, she's probably wondering where it is. And then nothing. And then there's nothing in me could put it in the mailbox. And so Monday morning, I'm like, my knowing is called Jennifer. So I reach out, and of course, lo and behold, she's in quarantine for 14 days because she traveled, and you're at home. I said, hey, how about we meet for lunch and I bring you your Ion 5 drops in person? Because that was to be. You know what I mean? And it was just, there was something about the timing. And then, of course, I talked to Sue, and I said, Sue, hey, you want to go out to lunch with us? I mean, Jennifer, of course, it worked for her. And it was like this whole flow experience. But what was so fun is we get in the car, and I still have to apologize to Sue for for what, because all of a sudden the car syncs up with my iPod, right? So, and the song, the radio was turned up really loud apparently. And it was like, abracadabra, that song by Steve Miller. I want to reach out and grab ya, and it just startled Sue. She about jumped through the ceiling.
It was loud. It
was loud. It really was loud. And I don't know if I had it up that loud.
I don't know.
But anyway, so I'm like, whoa, sorry about that, as I'm putting Jennifer's address in, And so that was so funny. I said, okay, so I turn it down, and we're talking. We get on the freeway, and all of a sudden I said, oh, I just hand goes and turns on the radio or the thing again. That song is still playing. It's Abracadabra again, and it's still playing in Steve Miller. And so we were just laughing that it was still there. All of a sudden, Sue looks up and goes, "Oh my God, look at that truck. It says Abracadabra." The name of the business on a truck was Abracadabra. And I just go, "Oh my," I swore. And I'm like, wow, that is, because that's not a real common name by any means, right?
Mhm.
And the fact that it was still playing, it was still coming. I mean, the whole of it was just like how this sync up. And so we're like, okay, we get the message. This is awesome. Abracadabra, magic, right? And then I feel like what I can recall from that was, I said, wow, things are magical. They can come out of the blue. Things can come out of nowhere, out of the blue. And so then it's like, well, yeah, abracadabra, magic, it comes out of truth. That's really what it was showing us. All these things popping up out of nowhere, out of truth. That's what I feel like our message was. So it was just this really, really cool. I mean, I've had a lot of whatevers, but that was like, it felt like a whole nother level of something, because the odds of that. And then the beauty was that Sue noticed it. It wasn't
Well,
just
and I was
me.
going to say, it typically I don't notice. Like Julie, it's an experience. Trudy, you know that, in the
Yep.
vehicle, right?
Yep.
You guys, and I don't typically notice. I am attempting to do this better, but there it was. It was almost like I don't know. It was strange, but obviously meant to be seen. So
Yes. Well, and it was just so fun for me that Sue was participating in that flow,
yeah,
that it wasn't just me.
yeah. That's
So to me, that was part of the abracadabra magic as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
yes. And then the whole of our experience, because I had said to Jennifer, well, where do you want to go for lunch? Or do you feel, she goes, well, why don't we just meet? And so then we're both scanning our awareness and nothing's coming up, right, Jennifer? It's like, we're just like, there's nothing that would go in our awareness. And I go, well, clearly, I said, I'm to come pick you up, and then it'll tell us from there. And so, again, that letting go of attachment and letting go and letting flow. So we pull up, we call Jennifer, say, hey, we're out there. We turn around, and I look at the back of this SUV, and I said, Sue, look at that. And it was the, what's this called?
The Flora. No,
Fleur
it
de
was
lis, but it was
like a
it was a crest. Yeah,
Family
yeah,
crest.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was all French. So the French crest. And so, of course, we end up at what's it called?
French Meadow.
French Meadow. And we get seated in this private corner. No one's around us. It was just like perfect for us, and it was just the whole experience of that was so magical. And it did feel like we were outside of time, because all of a sudden we're like, whoa, look at the time. But also, it was so flowing and effortless. Like, it was so funny, Jennifer. I don't know if you even realize this, but you went inside to go to the hostess and didn't have a mask on.
I realized that after the fact. Yeah.
But, nobody said anything.
Right.
You just walked in and go, well, we want to sit outside the table. But it was like, I just feel like again, that's not, we were in this flow. So it becomes insignificant.
Yeah.
So that was really, really fun. And it was just a beautiful day, and it was fun to connect again. Yeah.
Very nice.
So this magic that is showing up out of nowhere through our being is really, really fun, given even inside all the chaos and all the changes and all the swirls around us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also connected with Linda. So Linda isn't able to be with us tonight, but she shared with me an experience. And she was so looking forward to connecting tonight. And then, of course, she had there's friends coming over for dinner she wasn't aware of or something. But anyway, so she asked if I would share this in the group and about an experience she had in letting go. So she said she's had this longtime friend. They've been on the spiritual path together for many, many, many years. And she said just recently, it's like she's sending her all these videos. She's telling her all these things that are they're like mean, like mean. And just like telling her she won't get to the fifth dimension and, thinking she knows. And Linda's just like, oh my gosh. And she said, I heard Mara's message about this letting go of people. You never mind the history even. You're just going to have to let go of people. And she said, wow, that was so timely because that's her experience with this. She's very clear. It's complete. She can't anymore. So it's just another confirmation of that we're going to be letting go in a whole nother way, and there's that whole thing about it doesn't matter the history. If where I'm going, you are not going where I am. Basically our journey here is complete, at least for this part of the journey. So let's all breathe into that. And I feel like too, like she said, she's had a lot of anger show up and stuff, and she's been doing a lot of inner child work. She said she didn't even know was there. But she said, like you get over it so fast. Like Jennifer said, you recognize it, you feel it, it's gone. And then you move. You allow that soul clarity to move you. And it's very obvious what's coming with you and what isn't. So it's nice that we're all at that place where we can just move with this. And that's going to make all the difference in the experience. And we know of many around that haven't put in the time and energy like we have on the soul path, and that they're having a very different experience with this. But if you look at it, it's really boiling down to a fear of death. And it could be the death of a belief. It could be the death, a physical death. It could be death of a relation. It's death. And that's, if you can really kind of see it from that as part of your lens, that people are reacting to death. And we just know death is just another beginning. It just means it's going to be something different. Mm-hmm. And we've had enough different that we're like, okay, here's more different. And that goes back to, it kind of circles back around to how I started this, saying, noticing what's different. Mm-hmm. Because the more you get comfortable with different, the easier this journey gets. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that, I guess what I would like to do is hear from you guys if there's something you would like me to speak to.
My first, and I don't know if this is appropriate, but the DNA, that activation that's going on. Can you maybe elaborate just a little bit on that? I don't know.
Sure. Okay. So again, we notice things. Everybody here is working with Mara. So she's, I kind of listed the days she's been working with you leading up. I couldn't even tell you she was working with you because now that's different. Until that day. And then, and now she's working with us the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, all 4 of these days, 4 days in a row. That's different, right?
Yeah.
So that, to me, that speaks to the hugeness of this, You know what I mean? That there's a really large whatever with this. What we have remembered and talked about, this is a soul climb. So I see the DNA, you know, the spiral as rungs of the soul climb, and that we're climbing it, and it's like it's taking it line by line and rewriting, overwriting. Wow, the happy birthday bee bear just fell off. So I'm just saying it's the birthday bear. It just fell on its head. Yeah. So things are just falling on its head, you know, and look at this. Look at bear. It's here. Let me see if I can show you guys. Let me just look. See, let's see. Oops. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on its head. Look at that.
Right.
It just fell down. No one's by it, but it just decided to help us here. So that's a great visual. It's turning everything on its head. And so again, there's to me, this is awesome because we're really in tune with our soul. We're really in tune with all that. So it's like a natural uptake for us. And where but it's really impacting our physical as well. So really, really honor your body. Take that honoring to a new level. Really notice if it's saying no more for something, really honoring what it's asking to eat and what is time to let go of. Because there is no written out for this. It's only written in. So let's breathe into that. Oh, that's nice. There is no written out. There is only written in. It is written inside of you. And so your own unique experience within this whole of it is really what we're fine tuning into. So there's something that's occurring, and again, most of this is code, so it's not even like I can give you 1, 2, 3, 4 like we haven't before. But what has really occurred in August is the ruins have taken over the clock. So just breathe into that. And they have upgraded themselves as well, just like the clock has. So, you know, everybody knows the ruins, right? The RUINES, right? From the rune tradition where they used to cast runes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So that, I think it goes through 28, Trudy, is that correct? 28 runes? I believe.
I can't remember for sure.
I believe it's 28. So I believe it's 28. Or is it 26? Oh no, there's 30. There's 31. So anyway, but if they also line up with the alphabet, they also line up with the clock. You know what I mean? Like, but their energy, the planets are working with that energy. So let's breathe. But if we look at that word, it's RUNES, there's RUINES. So it's leaving other thing in ruins, right?
Yeah.
So I believe in all the numbers except for 7. 7 is still run by the clock. So let's breathe into that. So isn't that interesting when I said we're going to meet at 7 next week? So I believe it's the 17th, is it not?
Yes.
Oh my God, look at that.
Yeah.
Knowing without knowing. So there's something there. We won't know till we get there. But so this is beautiful. Jennifer, can I share this about what you said?
Sure.
Okay. So Jennifer and all her great, beautiful, remembering wisdom, innocence is so funny. She's like, yeah, she goes, I really can only remember 1 and 2 of the clock. And I'm just laughing because I said, of course, because all the rest of them have changed. You are to remember them. But it was so perfect. I go, yeah, power wash and raise. Those are the only two that stayed the same. The rest has pretty much gone into code. So it was just, I don't know, there was such beauty in that honesty, because she was totally in tune with what was happening, but didn't know she was, but she did know. You know what I mean? And so this knowing without knowing is so fun. And then when we get together, I feel like this is part of it. We confirm that knowing.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty, because you're going, oh yeah. And then you're like, oh, that makes so much sense. This happens. Trudy, you and I, when we talk all the time, it's like, oh yeah, we've been perusing this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, okay, there's my confirmation. This is so. So that is fun. But it's part of what's happening is there's this cap that's happening. And it's basically going into, we usually write in all caps, right? So it's letting go of the lowercase illusion into the higher caps of truth. Do you feel that?
Yes. And when you, I think it was today's little information thing that you sent out for the forecast, whatever it was with that reference to time moving to all caps, that came across really, really strongly in your recording.
Okay. Thanks for that.
I was listening on my phone and I almost went back in my chair, kind of like, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Yeah. That, because it's really cool. What did you guys feel with that video Mara put out with the storm? Did everybody get to see that?
No, I did not.
Oh, yeah. If you just go to our YouTube channel, it's on there.
Okay.
It's a public one. We put it out for everybody.
Okay.
I did put the link in whatever that, I did send it out in a link somewhere, but
Sure.
if
sure.
not, if you can't find it, let me know, Pam, and I'll read.
Yeah, I'll
send it
find
to you.
it, I'm sure.
But it's really powerful, I feel, because we had, I don't know if you guys had that, Pamela, on Sunday night, we had this storm that just, I don't even know what the word is. It just rumbled, but nothing ever really became of it. But there was this thunder and lightning, and it just kept this rumbling. And it was quite the fabulous light show.
Wow.
And then that's when she went outside and recorded it. And
wow.
So, yeah, it's really powerful, the visual, and then the download that came in of the things she said. And that would be one I would watch again and again and again. These things that she is putting out, you want to revisit. What the heck? Wow, that was interesting. Zoom just came up and said, there's another meeting, and it's like trying to put me in another meeting again.
And it's
I
7
don't know.
o'clock now.
Is it 7? That's probably why. So I find that funny. There's that 7 popping in.
Right.
Well, Julie, the other thing that I really felt in that video, well, of the storm, was you could really pick up on the elementals, mother, nature, and all the energy that goes along, whatever it was they were sending.
Yeah, you could feel it. It was
Yes.
very palatable. I agree, Trudy. I
Yeah.
agree. It was very, very present in that. So I also want to say, Lauren, we tip our hat to Lauren. She has worked really hard with us, or for us, and she's created 2 back end pages on the website. So one is going to be for the Soul Sync Up, and she's putting all of our Soul Sync Ups on a page, so you can go sign in and have access to all the videos in one place. And she did them all the way back through 2019.
Wow.
So, if you haven't participated, if you only came in at a certain point, and you want to participate, go back, you have access to all that's been. And then some of those webinars in 19, I think I did graphics for. So she even posted those, and she even went through a lot and put the highlights of what's in the video. So it was a lot of work. So I thank her. I'll find out, I believe to sign into the, it's Soul Sync Up, all together. And I think it's capital S, the password. So Soul Sync, SYNC up, but it's only capital S, but it's all together.
Okay.
If you guys can't get in, somebody text me, let me know, and I'll make sure that it reads that way. And then I'm having her do it for the forecast. So she's starting this with August. So she's placing all this Mars stuff in one place. So, because sometimes I know she goes in spurts and she cranks a lot of stuff out. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's, you get whatever, and then you forget, oh yeah, that's pertinent too. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, I want to have this landing, or I'm having, what I felt would be helpful is to have this landing page for all the things that are coming in. And then you can go back and visit and see what wants to support. And again, I believe the password that is just 4, the number 4, and cast. I believe it's all caps. If it isn't all caps, try lower cap. Let me see, but I believe it's all caps. And like I said, if you have an issue with that, just let me know, and I'll make sure that gets adjusted on my end. But we thank her for that work, because I just feel like to have it consolidated on a page, to let the page hold it will really be helpful to people.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it feels like it'll free things up for you as well.
Yeah.
For both you and Mara.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, because there's so much coming in now, and so much support that wants to come in, and I'm sure it's going to continue to pour in. So I just want to give you a little preview here of to come. So, we're in these next 4.5 months now, it's going to take the first months and just be more in tens, because we, again, to climb from 2020 to 2021 is a big, so part of what we're offering is the support. So you have these foundations, you have these things around you that can hold energy and work with you too. And particularly if you're not, I can't bop and call you up and say, let's have lunch necessarily. Like, it's nice to have that stuff around you. So she's going to be offering in September this toning. We're going to be finishing up with the soul yoga this week. So the last one will probably come out towards the end of the week. And then that will be set. Do you feel that? Those are for moving forward. even though they say whatever with the date, but it is those are going to be timeless, that soul yoga. But then she's moving on to support through toning. So there's going to be this toning that she's going to start in September. Kind of do this.
So excited.
I know, Trudy really is.
Oh, I'm so
So,
excited.
yeah, you've probably been asking for it. So it's going to kind of be the same format as the soul yoga. Okay. So again, and there is a soul yoga landing page too on the website. So like, if you don't have those pages, you got to let me know. I also did put all the soul yogas in a unlisted playlist on our YouTube channel. So if you want me to send you that link, so the playlist comes up and you can just see them all right there and go straight from YouTube to access them. That's also a possibility, or it's on the website.
Cool.
Okay. So that's just some practical things to make the ease of access of all these things a little bit smoother. Yeah. And one last thing, again, so Sue said, well, nothing was different, but I disagreed with her. And then she agreed that her backyard is different. So, because she, unbeknownst to her, she's been preparing her house and space, and me going over there, whatever, to get prepared for some gatherings there and in her place. Since my house is not as available right now for that kind of thing, it just feels like her house wants to. So, but we're going to do it. It's more, I don't know, informal is the word, but it's more casual. So it's just come if you can. And it feels like it might be during the day. There might be some evenings, but it's really not an experience per se, although Sue has lots of fun things that we'll get to play with. Okay, and as they speak, then we'll bring them out. And then what that feels like it'll do is she's, it'll just be a heart offering, heart sharing, and then those monies are going to be used for the mission for Mara and I. Okay, because it does cost to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Subscription here, whatever, until we get out of this money matrix thing that we're still doing. So anyway, so that's cool. So we will see how that shows itself to be, but it came really clear that today when Sue did the last ceremony in her backyard, maybe with a little suggestion from me, that remembering came in, and she's got a beautiful space that's ready to work in that way. And then Sue has traveled the world, so she has a lot of energy of things too that have come from all over the world.
Yeah. So
stay tuned for that.
Thank you, Sue.
Well,
Yes.
I'm excited because I feel like this is the next particle to include, just to, again, keep us together and in another way, get us
Right.
should say,
Yeah.
together, because I feel like that's what we're all looking for, is that camaraderie, whatever you
Connection.
want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just being more.
So how does this feel for everybody? Is this helpful to, I feel
Very
excited.
good.
We have a couple more that we just know we're going to do.
Yeah.
And that they're on the calendar, which is nice for me and you and all. And yeah, so let's just go around and close the circle. And I feel like you're going to put in like a sentence, or a word, whatever you feel like kind of encapsulates tonight. Trudy, since you're up front and center.
Willingness.
Okay, willingness.
It's
nice.
all about the willingness.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Sue, how about you?
Truth be told.
Nice. Truth be told. Nice. Jennifer, what about you?
Connection.
Connection. Nice. Beautiful. Pamela, how about you?
And along with that connection part, I feel like we're stepping into such a great place as a group. And I think it's going to be something like so cool. I have no idea, but I did some clearing this week on that with some other things. And so when this came up to be together, I'm like, yeah, because some stuff's been cleared out of the way. And
you are
it's all
just beaming well as well,
it's
honey.
all systems go. I feel like
Yes.
our hands are
There
on
you
the
go.
throttle, and someone's going to say, hit it. And we're going to go,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, look at her glasses are like, and I'm not sure if you received that, but I said you also are just beaming and glowing.
Yes, I did
So,
receive that.
yes.
I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I had
Let's-
one teeny thing about Jennifer's closing circles
Mhm.
with past lives. I had several of those experiences on my travels, and I found that one of them I couldn't close because my daughter, who's my daughter now, was in that lifetime, and I had to mention it to her
Oh.
before we could both close the circle. And I don't know if that's her situation or not, but that had never happened to me before. We were together and we both were frustrated, you know, and then I said, I recognized myself that was a past life. And then I just said to Michelle, you know, you have to look at that person and you have to just complete whatever. We don't need to know what it was, but you have to close your circle too now. And
Thank you for that, Pamela. And thank you for bringing that back around, because I promised we'd do that. So Jennifer,
yeah,
Jennifer, this is what is coming through for me. I feel like you're not going to say something physically to him. You're going to write him a soul letter.
Okay.
Okay. So however that wants to be spoken, you know, and then you'll probably have this knowing of maybe, like, for sure you're going to identify 3 patterns he has that are complete, that you guys aren't going to do this anymore. I see 3. And there might be more, but it's almost like hand will start writing it out.
Okay.
Okay. And I feel like that will move the energy up and out and through.
And
Excellent. Thank you.
And what
Yeah.
I thought is that there's something about the connection between you and him and the land.
Yeah. Like almost from that time, remember you had that really nice lifetime and a family and everything on the North Shore we told you about?
Yes. Yes.
I feel like it's in that lifetime.
I got goosebumps over that.
Yeah, I did too.
So I feel like it was access that lifetime, and that's where you'll get your answer, or you'll know what to pull from.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
awesome. Thank you all. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Trudy. Thank you, Julie.
Yeah. Yeah. You are so welcome. And we heard from everybody, right? Yeah. I connected with everybody. Okay. And I guess my word is gratitude. I just feel so grateful to all of you guys, and that we have this sacredness as soul sisters to come together in this time and to be. And I just hope you feel that every time we connect, and even when we don't. So hard hugs to you all, my friends. Love you lots. See you on Monday.
Monday.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.